Yo, everybody, welcome to the world's okayest mountain bike podcast. I'm your host, Clinton Sylvie, and we have the full lineup today. Kyle's here, Ryan's here, I'm sitting here sipping a cold V8 Energy. Life is good. I just got brand new internet hooked up at my house not 30 minutes ago, boys. Not even 30 minutes ago. They just left.
Man.
I am running like 230 megabyte per second down and up. Woo. Life is good at the Sylvie house today.
Oh my gosh. Woo. So what you're saying is you can finally have Netflix at your house now.
Color TV and everything.
Oh man, how about that? AOL Instant Messenger, bro. Look it up. It's a good time.
Yeah. And what a deal too. I think AOL is only like $50 a year? What a deal. Hey,
welcome.
Let's start. We've got a couple topics in mind to go here, but let's start with the biggest news. It's not even on our list, but I think the last podcast we recorded, Ryan had literally just woken up from a surgery and hopped on the podcast randomly. Kyle and I didn't even know it was him because it didn't say his name. And then we had a big sad cry fest about Ryan's. They had to go in and fix his arm, whatever. I can't remember the details. But Ryan, we thought that meant like you were done till like Christmas, because you even offered to let me ride your fancy Epic Evo custom build.
Well, I guess there's good news and bad news here then, Clinton. You're not riding my Epic Evo because I am signed up for BT Epic.
That is good news. I'm actually very happy about this.
I knew you would be. That's why we love each other. And the arm is doing fantastic. They put a plate back in it. And I'm lifting weights to strengthen it. I've been pedaling for about a week and a half now, some road rides. Nothing crazy, just trying to get acclimated and get used to the awesome new bike.
Have you done any off-road rides yet?
I have, yeah. I've done a Lost Valley run, and then I was traveling in Kansas City this past week, and I rode at Wyandotte, Wyco. Awesome trail if you're in Kansas City, by the way. Definitely be checking that out more when I'm traveling to Kansas City and taking my bike. So yeah, 3 off-road rides I've done now. I've done Indian Camp Creek, Lost Valley, and then I've done 3 road rides. I did do a road ride yesterday and flatted, and my CO2 did not work, so I had to call reinforcements to come pick me up, and that was funny. So, but the arm's doing good. I'm working on health and fitness, and I'm looking forward to BT Epic and riding with people and seeing how fit I can get myself in a 3-month time span. So,
I would love to have you and Kyle line up for a race like today, right now. I would like to. I would be very curious to see how that went, because you've been hurt for basically 2 years straight. Have you and Ryan line up for a cross-country race right now?
Oh, I'd get smoked.
You think?
No, there's no question.
He's been hurt for 2 years.
I feel like
no. Ryan's body just holds fitness better than mine, like long-term fitness. Like I have never ever been endurance fit. I have been fast fit, like sprint fit, but not. I've never in my entire life ever been able to maintain a long-term endurance pace fitness. Like my body just doesn't like it. It doesn't. It's hard for it to do. So yeah,
I'm not gonna lie,
anything
Kyle,
anything over 5 miles, yeah, I think Ryan's getting me.
You know, after we rode at St. Joe Park last week or whenever that was, I believe you.
Well, and the thing is that like I recover quick. It's just like when we finished, like I was hot, but I could have absolutely done that whole lap again, and just it would have been a little bit of a slower pace, but it wasn't like I was toasted. It's just that I can put out hard effort and then recover fairly quickly, but that effort I can't stretch for very long. You know, I just can't. It's never. I don't know if it's just the physiology. My body just worked. I've only sprinting sports. I played soccer. I played hockey. I sprinted on the track and field team, and my sprinting was always like very, very, very competitive, even track and field, like regional qualification stuff. But I've never been able to stretch that into any kind of endurance fitness.
I see. Okay.
I don't.
So yeah, no. So Ryan, get me right. I think I'd get Ryan at the BMX track. Probably wouldn't get him on a cross country.
I was just gonna say I'm not on the BMX track and racing Kyle. Nor probably never.
I was gonna say you'll die. Something will happen. I feel pretty, Ryan. I don't know what, but something will happen. So Ryan, does this mean is our bet about our deal about the BT Epic? I wouldn't say it's a bet because it was one-sided. If I beat you at the BT Epic, you still buying my entry fee back?
I'm a man of my word, but only I'm gonna take one thing away from you. If you don't show up with that dang pie you sent me a picture of, I will not pay you.
You got it.
All right. You got to bring the pie. You got to bring the pie, and you got to beat me.
Yeah, this is probably confusing to people. I literally baked a blueberry pie last night, and I sent these boys a picture of a piece of it today.
Ugh,
it's amazing. It is so good. Like, it's so good.
Now, Clinton, correct? Did you have pie for breakfast today?
I had like a protein mix drink for breakfast, and then I had a pie for second breakfast.
He's helping my case here. Thank you, Clinton.
I need the carbs, man. I'm gonna race Sunday, right? I'm gonna go for just a little tune-up ride today, just to move the legs. And we've got the lead belt cross country race this weekend, right, Kyle?
Yeah.
You ready, buddy?
No, I am not signed up for it yet, but I need to sign up for it, and I need to. So the only problem is that I'm going to be outside all day today and all day tomorrow at the racetrack, and so I'm going to try to do the best I can to stay on top of hydration. But literally, I've got 12-hour days in the sun for the next 2 days leading up until race day.
Well, it's 8 miles.
So
it's just 8 miles. That's all you got to do. So
oh my gosh, but it's going to be a billion.
I hope so. I'm ready for it. Let's go. Give me that heat.
It's good weight loss.
I tell you what, man. The class is getting pretty stacked out there, because I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know Cody Rowe? Old Cody Rowe is going to be out there running big hitters this year.
I do not know him.
I don't follow big hitters. I'm on a
no, so Cody's a state qualifier. He's a state qualifier BMX guy. Also turned mountain biker. He'll probably be there in jean shorts and an American flag helmet. But I'm picturing Cody being a podium contender for big hitters out there for sure.
So what you're saying is, off the start, just if you see a guy in jean shorts take off sprinting up the hill, just don't even catch him somewhere else. Don't try to out sprint him up the pavement.
Yeah, probably not. Cody's a powerful rider, man. So he beat both of us at the pump. Cody actually might have made top 8 or top 4 at the pump track. He might have finished 4th or 5th. So he's a strong rider. So he can handle a bike well. He's not a real serious racer. He's just kind of a goon when it comes to racing, but every now and then he'll put on a number plate and show up and kind of surprise some people. So he'll be racing big hitters this year, from what I understand, though.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, big hitters is a good time. It's nice to be able to, if you only have one bike, an enduro bike, it's nice to be able to go do some races where it's not like a 3 or 4 day ordeal just to race your bike. Because with enduro, if it's local, you're looking at minimum 2 days, because you've got a pre-ride and then you have to race. And if it's a big enduro, like something at Shepherd, man, you want at least, you got 2 days of pre-ride and 2 days of racing. And there's always some combination of that where you're looking at a minimum of 2 days, usually 3, sometimes 4. It's nice to be able to go race. You don't need to pre-ride a cross-country course. You'll just wear yourself out if you pre-ride like the day before. You don't need to pre-ride. You show up, your bike's ready. You don't have to put on a bunch of, when I race enduro, man, I'm especially at Shepherd or somewhere like that, I'm like chest protector, knee pads, elbow pads, full face, goggles, self-sufficient for a whole day, all that stuff. Here, I'm going to show up. I'm going to have a water bottle and a half shell and just go ride my bike as hard as I can for like 35 minutes, and then I'm done. And it's, and I'm on
35?
a bike.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think your lap's going to be? Are you going to be 35 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. My best
Holy
ever
cow.
is like 39 or 38 something, so I think I'll hit 35 in a race situation.
Holy cow.
That's moving, Clinton.
It's crazy, Ryan. Like, turns out if you ride like 4 days a week for a couple months consistently, you get faster. It's weird.
Yeah,
Who knew?
right?
No, like
It's
we
weird.
like so when we rode the other day, I was thinking like that was a pretty good effort. You know what I mean? Like when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, that felt pretty good. Like that felt like a pretty decent pace considering it's a cross country course. And then I went back and searched through your segments, your previous efforts on some of those segments, and they were minutes faster. And I was like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, this is a true story. This sounds like this is the Beat Up Kyle podcast. But Kyle, usually when I'm riding,
aren't they all?
Usually when I'm riding in the summer, after a little bit, like sweat starts dripping down my face, and if I push on my helmet, it's just like a stream of sweat dripping down. When we got done, I could not get any sweat to come out of my helmet.
Oh man,
Like,
yeah, there.
not a drop. I mean, I was sweaty, but it wasn't anything like, what I'm usually doing out there.
No, and I wasn't totally smoked, but man, like the effort that I put in, I don't usually put that much effort going uphill. I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like whenever I go ride, I lollygag any uphill pace just because that's not the interesting part of the ride for me. And so I'm not used to going out with the intention of being fast up climbs, and I just don't have it, man. We'll see how Sunday goes, but the way the class is stacking up, I'm hoping to be top 10 out of 11 guys.
Just don't be last, right?
Don't be last.
So anyway, yeah, the big news.
I just don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm trying to decide whether or not I should even make an attempt to try to run your pace. Like, just how hard do I chase you out of the gate, and how long do I try to stay on your tire? Like that's. And whether or not there's even a chance I could sit there for even half the lap. That's what I don't know.
Yeah, the way the course starts, I mean, we're going to get into climbing somewhat quick. So it might be tough,
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it all. I'm just gonna try to leave it all out there, as old coach used to say. I don't usually do that. I don't ever hardly get back from like any cross country race or leisurely ride exhausted, like just physically done. Like it's always like, oh yeah, that was fun. So maybe this time I'll actually put in race pace effort and try to just leave it all out there. I'll have to figure out how to do that.
Yeah,
leave it all there at the lead belt, buddy.
Well, whatever it is, if your body's giving you signals, it's basically go at the effort level where you're like, okay, I can do this for an hour, but no more. Right?
That's what I don't know. I don't know how to judge any of that. Like, and that's kind of why I'm interested to watch my Garmin now that I have one, and watch heart rate and stuff like that, and kind of see where I sit and try to understand what my body's heart rate is telling me about what I can do for different durations.
Yeah.
Like, what do you shoot for? Like, do you watch your heart rate? Like, how long? What's your heart rate, and what's your heart rate at race pace that you can hold for an hour?
I don't know the number exactly, but it'd be high. It'd be like middle, what we would call zone 4. I'm assuming, but I've done enough concentrated, like very specific training at maximum effort, and I have enough experience now where, Ryan, you probably know what I'm talking about. Like, you can feel there's just sort of this line where it's like, if I go over this, I'm going to blow up in a way that I can't recover.
Yes.
And you just kind of, after a while, you learn what that feels like. And I just try to keep it right under that unless I'm almost at the very end, where I can where it doesn't matter if I recover or not.
Kyle, this won't help you for this weekend, but as you get used to tracking now that you have a device to track your heart rate and kind of monitor it on the different efforts, you'll find like, okay, for an hour ride, here's where I can ride it at this heart rate level for an hour and I'm fine. If I go above it, I'm going to blow up. And then, or if I'm doing a 5-hour ride, like I need my heart rate here. Otherwise,
exactly. Yeah, that's really what I'm interested in learning that a lot too. So like right now, I have no reference for any of that whatsoever. So like, I went rock climbing the other day and did like 300 foot of rock climbing over like 8 routes, I guess, and the highest heart rate I saw was 120. I found that my resting heart rate's like 59, so I guess that's kind of cool. So it's interesting to watch that stuff now. But like, so this race coming up Sunday will be my very first ride on the Garmin tracking anything. So I have no clue.
So
Kyle,
just set the bar high.
Oh, go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
Just set the bar high then, Kyle, this Sunday, and just hammer hard above 200.
That's what I mean. Like, so Sunday, I might just go out and just give it go absolute ham for as long as I possibly can and just see if I grenade.
I'd say if that's what you do, you probably will. Kyle, when I was during the BME on the transfers, just walking my bike up the hill, I was hitting in the 160s pretty much the whole way up.
Okay.
It was so hot.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot this weekend too.
Yeah, I think 180 is kind of the magic number for me to try to stay under for a sustained pace. But in enduro, like on stages, man, and when I'm training for it, I'm literally doing max efforts and being in the 190s for a couple minutes. Okay.
But if you're gonna do an hour in the saddle, you think you can run yourself at 180 for an hour?
Yeah, in the 170s, 180. If I get up in the 180s, that's assuming that I'm going to get to the top of the hill and be able to recover coming back down it.
I'm pretty similar to that, actually.
Yeah. So, but it's funny because, like, what feels like my effort levels, they always feel the same. It's just as you train, that same effort level gets you more miles per hour.
Yep.
But I always, that's, it's not like I'm out there like, I don't feel as bad or whatever as I used to. It's just, no, I just go the same effort level, but, oh, wow, I did that, 5 minutes faster than 2 months ago or whatever, but it didn't feel any harder.
Right. No, I get it. Well, I did. So I guess it was mid-June I decided to increase my activity level. And in this, buying the Garmin with the heart rate tracking and all that was kind of all part of my plan. Because I didn't like the number I saw on the scale before I went on vacation, and I certainly didn't like what the number on the scale was when I got back from vacation. And I am happy to say that I am 7 pounds down from my pre-vacation weight now, which is great. So I'm getting it, and I feel stronger. Like when I'm doing rides or going climbing. I mean, like the other day I did 300 feet, and I felt pretty good. I probably could have done another 200. My hands are the only thing that were failing on me, not my arms, the rest of my body. But it's been fun to try to do. So I've never been a Strava guy. I'm starting to enjoy Strava because there's a level of personal accountability that goes with it. And so I'm trying to log 4 activities a week. So every other day, do some kind of measurable activity that has a level of fitness attached to it. So it's been good to use it for that.
Hey Kyle, are you downloading your watch to Garmin Connect and kind of getting some more like fitness data that it provides through that?
Kind of. So I've only done one. So I did download a Garmin Connect. I have a watch connected to that. I set the watch up with that, and I actually have my Garmin, my Strava also out that data to Strava. And I only done one activity. The only activity that I have documented in Strava is my rock climbing that I did yesterday, last night, or the night before last. And so that's the only one I have. And it didn't move all of the data over. It only moved some of the data over. Some of it disappeared between Garmin and Strava, which is okay. But I've got it all set up, and hopefully I can start using that correctly.
Yeah, there's just a lot of good information that you can absorb from it if you're trying to really improve some fitness and health and stuff like that. So it's good.
And I plan on talking. I plan on talking to both you guys too to learn what that data is telling me and what I can learn from the data that I now have available to me. It's all a learning phase for me, but it's purposeful fitness now for the first time in my life, other than just trying to move more than I eat. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So on this topic, I guess we'll since we're already on it, Brian, have you purchased a new bike computer yet?
No, so long story short, I posted that because let me just preface that my Garmin actually sat in my truck while it was hot for a couple days while I was traveling, and I think it maybe overheated. So I went to ride yesterday and I took it off the charger, and I took off riding, and I got 10 minutes in my ride and the battery died. And so I got home, and it was like the battery icon on the screen had a red X through it. Like, even though I had it charged up, like it was plugged in. And so it was weird. I didn't know what that meant. So I just kind of let it charge. I took it off the charger after I thought it should be fully charged, and it just turned right off. So, I put it back on the charger. I got it to turn back on, and I did a hard reset on it. After the reset, it still had that red X. So last night I took it inside, put it on charger inside, and actually today it's showing the normal battery icon. So I'm thinking it was maybe overheated. Tomorrow when I ride, I'm gonna see how it holds the battery. So I haven't purchased anything yet, and that leads us to the next topic a little bit, right? So we're having this debate, right? Like Kyle got a Garmin watch, couple guys on our team said, just get the watch, right? And so I'm not going for a watch. And here's why, guys. I have an Apple Watch. It tracks some of the data, yes. But the reason I have an Apple Watch is because by now our listeners should know I crash a lot and get hurt a lot. And my wife wants to be able to call me while I'm riding and say, are you okay? She doesn't want the incident thing that Garmin sends out. She doesn't want it. She wants to physically call me and say, are you okay? Whenever she wants to do that. And I can't argue with her, right? Like she's letting me go ride my bicycle and not sell it. And so I need to just do so. And it's also nice because I do have two phones, a work phone and a personal phone. And so when I'm working, because I have the Apple Watch, get phone calls and text to it, I don't have to carry my personal phone around during work hours. So kind of eliminates carrying two phones around all the time. So as cool as I think a Garmin watch is, and I originally, when we talked about getting a watch, I talked about getting the Garmin watch. We went with the Apple Watch so that I could take calls and text. So you people that are out there that like, just get a watch. I can't just get a watch. I already have a watch. I need a Garmin on my bike in front of my face.
Well, in our defense, we didn't know about the Apple Watch situation.
I know. Kyle did.
Clint did not.
And I wasn't saying get the Garmin watch. I just said I like mine so far.
No, you're right. And
I was about to roast you on this whole, well, I want to look at data when I'm climbing. And I'm like, okay, if the trail is technical enough that you couldn't look at a watch, like take your hand off the bar, then you're not looking at your screen anyway. You're going to be looking at the trail. And if it's a climb that's smooth enough to look down away from where you're going, it is really not hard at all to glance at your watch. Like,
no,
at all.
The comment was funny though, and like I wanted to get in some good banter, and I'm glad I saved it for this podcast because I was going to be like, I'm not saying I'm more skilled than either of you, but I think you know my skill level is enough to take my hand off and look at my
I would
watch.
think. Yeah, I was just like, what? That's the lamest. Now there is one thing if any listeners out there have like a Garmin Phoenix 5, that's a couple models older that they would be looking to part with that still holds a decent battery charge. I'd like to have one because I have the Garmin Forerunner 245 and it's been great. And the reason I got it is because I have to ride by myself a lot. And oftentimes I ride places like out on the Ozark Trail that do not, most of it doesn't have good cell service or any in spots, like whatsoever. And so the Forerunner 245 is basically the cheapest model that had all these things: the live track, the incident detection, which the incident detection is only going to work really if there's a cell signal, but it still has the live track no matter what, even though I have to start it and make sure it gets out there somewhere with cell service. So if I know I'm going into the boonies, sometimes I'll actually start my ride a couple miles before I even get there, even when I'm just driving in my truck, to make sure that email gets sent with the live tracking.
Yep.
Because from that point on, it's all determined by satellite, and it doesn't matter if I have cell service. But since I ride by myself a lot, I wanted, if I don't come home when I'm supposed to, Hannah and I think my dad and Crazy Dave also get the email. and they see, okay, well, Clint's out in this middle of nowhere spot and he's not moving. Like, that's probably a bad sign.
Those are great features, though.
But yeah, the one feature I wish it had, though, that it doesn't, and this is why if I could go back in time, my next Garmin watch, I'll probably just buy like a used one off Facebook Marketplace for like $300 from the people who just have to get the newest one, and they keep selling the ones that are totally fine. Is I want all those features, plus I want Strava Live segments, which I actually have a little Lesign Super GPS, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of my backup, I guess, in case I break my watch or something, that will show as you roll up to a segment, if you have favorited it in your Strava, it'll start counting down and say, hey, you're 50 meters from the start of this segment. And it'll count down, and when you hit it, it'll start a timer, like it brings up a different screen until you're through the segment. And then it'll tell you like how your time was while you're riding. It's fun. Like, Kyle is finally coming around, Ryan, to understanding why we do these things.
I know, right?
It took him long enough.
Oh my God, I was so anti-Strava, anti-data tracking, anti-everything, and then my pants stopped fitting, and now I'm starting to change my tune. So the new watch I got does have Strava live segments. It does have the ability to do that. It's got all the new heart rate and pulse ox sensors and all that stuff. I mean, it's the new deal, man. It only just came out like 3 months ago, so that it is the newest of the new. I very specifically did not want a touchscreen, and I wanted something that could withstand dirt bike rides and jet ski rides and water and all that stuff too. So I got the Instinct, which is not the most like fancy looking. It looks just like a Casio G-Shock, honestly, but it'll withstand all the abuse I'm gonna put through it, I hope. So and it feels awesome. Like I was really pleasantly surprised to feel how light it was and how it felt on the wrist. Like, it's easy to wear.
You still need to go on Amazon and spend like $5 to $10 on a tempered glass screen cover, because you will whack that screen on something.
I bought a 3-pack actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, I bought a 3-pack actually. I just haven't put it on yet. They just came in yesterday, and I've been working ever since. So.
Ryan, do you so we were talking about the data, and this was actually helpful to me for a while, but I mean, I kind of like monitoring when I feel like it's the sleep part, like, you wear it at night or whatever. But I have run into one problem where sometimes I wear it, sometimes I don't, depends on the mood I'm in, because there's one like major pitfall that I have found wearing my watch to bed. And I think Apple Watch might be the same. Kyle, I don't know if you've noticed this, but anybody care to take a guess of what happens when I try to sleep in this thing?
Your hand falls asleep.
You can't sleep in it? Can't sleep in it because you're wearing a watch?
Nope. So, I don't want to wear it so tight that it's like smashed against my wrist like at all times.
Yeah.
But there's just a little gap there. And the problem is the sensors, the heart rate sensor, the pulse ox, when they come on every so often, they light up. And if I just so happen to have my arm in a weird place, like if I'm on my stomach or something, those things will just that little bit of gap between your skin and the sensor, if that is pointed toward my face, those lights, it is like someone shooting
bright.
fireworks off into my brain in the middle of the night sometimes, and I'm just like, ah! Like it's like someone came in and just like threw all the lights in the house on right into my eyeballs. And
I could see that for like depending on how you sleep. It wouldn't bother me, and I don't sleep with mine on, so I've never even tracked like how I sleep through my watch.
yeah.
But the light is definitely bright on that sensor.
Yeah. Well, and my eyes don't fully
it
close
is.
when I sleep. So you guys can see my screen. Nobody else can, but I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm relaxed and sleeping. So I don't know what that looks like because I can't see it at the same time. You guys can describe my eye situation there.
It was a quarter open for sure.
Yeah. That's how it's just, I don't know. It's like my eyelids are not long enough. So when they're fully closed, they're kind of tight, I guess. Like I can close my eyes completely, but once I relax, they crack open just a little bit. And so when that sensor, if I roll over with that watch in the middle of the night, it just like, it's terrible. But I want to sleep in it because I like, helps track the recovery and like, you can judge a lot by like your resting heart rate and all this stuff. And yeah, it's actually forced me a few times when I wanted to go do something and it's telling me my body battery is drained. I trust it. I really do. I'm like, nope, gonna rest today. And
No, I don't do any sleep tracking at all. I don't want to wear a watch. I actually have my watch to automatically go into mega battery save mode at night, so that way I don't have to deal with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna sleep how I sleep. So the watch don't need to tell me.
Okay, so we're all, I don't know even what we're gonna argue about anymore now that we've got Kyle on Team Strava finally after all this time. But speaking of personal accountability, I have a little bit of a rant that I've had locked and loaded for a few days here, and I don't. Ryan, you'll understand this since you're a motocross guy like me growing up, In motocross, the thing that everybody wants to be, like at the pro level, is the series champion.
Yes, I know
like
where you're
that is like being the Supercross champion or the outdoor champion. Like that's the goal. That's whatever. Like all the fans know, like the guy that was champion was the best guy all year, with very, very few exceptions when something like a bike breaks at the end or whatever. But either way.
Let me jump in real quick, Clinton. Even in like a lot of like team sports, like you can't be the champion at the end of the season without being one of the best throughout the season, right? Like if you think about hockey or baseball, like you have to have a good record to get into the playoffs, and then you have to perform good in the playoffs to get to be the World Series champ or whatever it is. Anyway, I wanted to interject that because it's not just like individual type sports, like even a team sport. To be the champion, you have to endure throughout a period of time.
Yeah, and I think hockey, baseball, and basketball, as far as determining the champion goes, are all superior to even like football. And I get that there's reasons why. I mean, you're going to play a series of 7 NFL games against the same team, like, days in a row. I get why that wouldn't work, but at least in those, you've got to be good enough through the season to get to the playoffs. But even when you're in the playoffs, like it's not just one day determines everything. So in mountain biking, just this past week, last weekend in the World Cup, Loanne Lecomte or Loanna, I don't know. I think it's just Loanne. She won the World Cup cross country race at, where were they at? Lenzerheide? I don't know where they were at, but she won, like first place. And now what's she doing? Taking a break. Like they have a race this weekend at I don't know if the XC and the DH are at the same place this week or if they're somewhere else. Hang on, I can tell you in just a second. Yeah, they're at the same place. No, they're not. The cross country racers this week are at Andorra, and the winner from last week is like sitting it out. Like I'm out. Like I don't know if it's the world champ. Like it's not even an Olympic year, but this happened in the Olympics too. Like Henry Avancini in the men's, like sat out a bunch of World Cups to get ready for the Olympics, and he didn't even win the Olympics. Like, I get that cross country is super demanding on the body, but I'm sitting there thinking like a week, like a full week off, or at least 5 days. I guess that short track today, but like Monday, like if you literally just recovered Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's not enough, and you just won. Like you're a winner, you are elite, and now you're like, gonna take a few races off, see it world champs or whatever. I don't know. I hate it.
Yeah,
like, I hate it.
Who does she ride for though? Like if she's a full factory ride sponsored pro athlete, I would be surprised if her sponsors allow her to do that without having her name be on like World Cup podiums. There's a chance. I mean, is she not a factory team rider and just happens to be an incredibly
she's
fit
super
racer?
factory. She was the overall champ last year. She rides for Canyon.
Okay.
Like she is Canyon's premier rider in cross country. I think I don't even know who rides for them on the men's side anymore. But
well, they know that even though she beats Emily Batty, she won't get as much attention as Emily Batty.
Because Emily Batty is adorable.
Emily, it's Ryan. It's Emily Batty with a DDIE.
However you want to say it, Clinton. Whatever makes you feel better.
No, I think you're missing the joke. Anyway, that's Gen Z stuff, Ryan. She's a baddie, like BADDIE.
No, I know where you're going with it. However you want to say it, it's still the same.
Well, my wife would agree, so that's why I can say it. But I don't know, like that. Yeah, she's Canyon's like number 1 rider by far. Kate Courtney got 7th last week, sitting it out this week, and I'm like,
wow.
To me, I get it. Like it's like to be the world champ, you should have to endure more than just one race, right? Like you should have to endure out the season, and your points accumulate. Like Supercross or so many other sports, F1 or whatever it is. Like you're not the I don't know. Like to me, that just doesn't mean world champ. Like some no name could just be training his butt off and show up to world champs. Very, 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 very unlikely, and win and be called the world champion. Like he was training in the middle of the.
And that's like the world champs race, even in the community, is recognized as being what it is. The world champ race is not attached to the UCI World Cup at all. I don't think, right? Like it's not like the world champ race is not the UCI World Cup finals. It's a totally separate race, totally different sanctioning body and everything. It's just called the world champ race. The UCI World Cup, they still do have an accumulative champion every year.
Yeah, but they let whoever wins that one race gets to wear the stupid rainbow stripes like for like the whole next season during all the races. It's so confusing. I'm like, no, you should get your award or whatever, but whoever and I think the overall winner wears stripes too or whatever, but I don't know. The lack of emphasis on the overall, even calling it the overall, is annoying. I know I've had this rant before, but I don't know. I don't get it, and it kind of goes hand in hand with like Ryan. Maybe this is Kyle will probably understand this and be like, "No, I love this about mountain biking." But tell me if you've ever had a thought like this or noticed. Like, I get a little bit annoyed with the professionals who are supposed to be professional racers. So like Kyle, not Ryan Howard, right? Not our dog, not Seminuk, not those guys. Like I get their deal is a whole different deal. I'm talking about the guys though, like they're racers, like that's what they're supposed to be doing, but their whole deal's just like about, just having fun. I just want to enjoy riding my bike. Oh, I'm not having fun. I'm gonna take some time off or whatever. Blah blah blah. Now I get like we want to have fun, but part of me is just sitting there going like, well, too bad. Like you are a professional athlete. Sometimes it's not gonna be fun, but you're getting paid to perform. And I have this kind of issue with motocross and really all professional athletes that sort of lose the script is like, there's no intrinsic value in your ability to ride a bicycle fast. Like a farmer, what a farmer does has intrinsic value to the world, whether anybody knows who they are or not. Like they produce food. That's important. The fact that you can ride a bike fast doesn't do anything for anybody other than the value of, I guess, the entertainment of watching it and your influence to sell products. But this happens in motocross too. This isn't just a mountain bike thing. Some of these guys, though, they start acting like because they're fast, like they should be entitled to sponsorship and all this stuff just because they're good at it or it's dangerous. It's like, no. You could be the fastest, best rider in the world, but if you're either not performing or visible and like in some way and bringing value to help your sponsors sell products, nobody owes you anything. And it just sometimes I'm like, I just kind of cringe and I'm like, I'm sorry you're not having as much fun making a living riding your bicycle as you want. Meanwhile, most of the people watching you like are going to a 9 to 5 that they might or probably don't really enjoy, but they got to do it anyway because they got to pay the bills, whether they're having fun or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there needs to be a little bit of a reality check.
Appreciation for what they do for a living.
Yes, absolutely. And someone who, this will probably be an opinion people are going to be like, what are you talking about? He's the opposite. But looking at like the YouTube channels and stuff, like I feel like right now, Aaron Gwynn and like Jack Moyer on the enduro side are actually doing a really great job of, okay, our results aren't the best right now, so we've got to make up our value to our sponsors in other ways, right? And not just sit around going, oh, I'm just not having fun. With their YouTube channels and all the stuff they're doing. Like, the opposite of this would be like, I don't know. Well, I don't want to name. I don't want to bag on these guys too much, but there's a few pros out there that like their results are just kind of or even if they're good sometimes, but like you never hear from them. They don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want to be in the spotlight. And I'm like, dude, have a little gratitude. Like, you get to ride a bike or a motorcycle for a living.
Little personal, Clint. I feel like there's a story that maybe could have been told here.
Actually, no. We already told that one, but I wasn't even thinking of that this time around. This is more of a general principle.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more of a general principle.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what Ryan said kind of sums it up. It's just kind of a lack of gratitude and appreciation in the big picture of life for the position you're in. I mean, I don't know, basketball, right? Like LeBron James tweeted or whatever that woman that's in prison in Russia, the basketball player, like if she gets out, he's like, if I were her, I don't even know if I'd come back to America. It's like, are you serious, LeBron? You're a billionaire. and you're only a billionaire because there's millions of people who worship you in America. Like, really? It's just ridiculous.
We could talk. I could talk for hundreds of hours about how misguided people in our. That's probably not what this podcast is about.
How misguided what? You kind of cut out there for a second.
how misguided rich people and where their world. We probably don't need to go down that rabbit hole before. I don't think.
No, we don't. We probably should get back to bicycles.
Dang, right.
Let's talk about race results. Because I had a good race result for the first time in a while.
Oh yeah? How'd you do?
Yeah, good.
What'd you race?
I took second, and I took second in the Missouri State qualifier in the cruiser.
Do you want me to ask
So
out
I
of how
went to
many
a
people,
triple
or will
point,
that kind of ruin the
USA.
magic?
No, there was 6 people in our class that started. I mean, it was only because of how small the class was. There was only 3 of us in the main. But I did. I got beat by the guy that I beat for my second place spot. Beat me one of the other motos, and so I was happy that I was able to beat him in the main, and then and hold him off for the whole thing. So I took second in my age class state qualifier for cruiser class BMX. Triple points.
Oh, that's good. I actually think I saw some video of you.
Yeah.
You were right. You had the speed. The guy that beat you, you just need a little bit of racecraft the passing aspect, I guess.
Man, it just is like I ride that course. I rode that course a lot, so like I know how to jump everything. Like I know the speed through things. What I don't know is how to pass people or how to block passes. I just run everything as wide as I can because that's the most fun line and easiest line to ride around the course to carry the most amount of speed. But I completely forgot that the idea of racing is that somebody's trying to pass you while you're pedaling. And I just, both races, the times I got passed, I'm in wide open, lefty inside wide open, and let guys just roll right through me. And I didn't realize that I should be blocking that. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the video and I was just like, oh, but you were still right there. Like, it wasn't like the guy passed you and then rode away. You were right there, and I'm just come on, Kyle.
And I didn't know. I know, and I couldn't figure out how to get past him in the corner because I was pulling on him in the straight. Like I was catching up with him again in the straight, all the way through. The next corner, he just out cornered me, and rolled right through. And I was happy with it. I felt good. Those guys are fast, man. Those guys are. I mean, neither one of them are wildly physique-looking guys, but they move good on bikes, man. They really do.
I guess I didn't see the video. I'm gonna have to see this.
Yeah, I guess the Donaldson brothers, Gary and Ben, and they're in my age class and everything. We were all racing dirt jump bikes in cruiser class. So it was a pretty fun main.
Nice.
Yeah, those guys are fast, man. Gary stuck it to me. Gary's straight up faster than me, and then Ben is, I think Ben and Gary swap spots pretty often. And so it was a good race. Like I when I entered in the morning, I have the option of racing cruiser class or novice class. So that's just the point structure. I don't race enough to have enough points to move up. But so they asked me what I wanted to race, and I was like, I should probably race cruiser. And then it ended up a really good day. I mean, like we were all pretty equally matched. Our speed and everything goes. Those guys are better racers than me by a long shot, but we both pedal pretty even with each other. So it was a fun race.
Nice. Ryan, you said earlier that you got a hole that was not CO2able in your tire. Which tire was that? Just out of curiosity.
It was a Bond Trigger on my road bike.
Oh, it was on your road bike. Okay.
Yeah. I just went for a little lunch ride, and about an hour ride I do from my house out through the farm hills, and I got about 3/4 of the way in, and there she went, and I put the new tube in, and my CO2, as soon as I went to screw it on, just blew up in my hand. And
nice.
that was it. It's kind of comical, really.
Huh. Well, boys, I've had kind of a hiatus from going tire crazy for a little while here, but once these tires for my enduro, my Shepherd tires wear out, I'm getting the itch because there's a couple tire options out there now that are like cheap-ish. These Delium tires and this new American Classic brand that's rolling out new mountain bike tires.
Oh, good.
And our friend Scotty Gettemeyer had some Delium out at Shepherd the other day, and I am interested. And you can buy these things for like, I think the highest, like the Enduro casing, and it's got 42A rubber side knobs, 50 in the middle. Like that's pretty acceptable. $58, I think. And then the American Classics are 50. So Clint might have to revert to his old obsession here in the near future.
Oh, heaven forbid.
But just a little info for our listeners. Within a couple days, maybe even this afternoon, I'd say for sure by sometime tomorrow, I am going to do a YouTube video reviewing my Enduro now that I've had it for a couple months and have gotten a lot of time on it. I can promise you the production quality will be very mediocre. I'm just going to film it with my phone and upload it straight up. But yeah, be looking for that. My channel, it's just my name, Clinton Sylvie, Clinton spelled with a K. If you look that up on YouTube, you'll find me. But yeah, not going to be super fancy, but there's a lot to say about that bike. And now that I've had enough time on it, I think I can really make a meaningful review that's not just the same, what you read on the magazines or whatever.
I'm gonna do similar with my my Epic Evo build, so be cool to kind of throw those out, put those up on the social. So
yeah, and I think I'm close to getting my hands on one of those, Ryan. I think it's not going to be too much longer.
You're gonna need to eat more pie then.
Gonna need to eat more pie. Well, you trying to fatten me up? You getting scared? Trying to fatten me up?
I'm not even gonna beat around the bush here. I know you've been riding a lot, and I kind of am doubting my ability to beat you by over an hour.
Was that the deal? Oh, was it an hour?
Yeah.
I mean, we can go with that. I thought it was just a straight up, if you beat me straight up, but
we can go with the straight up thing, but I had to beat you by was the original deal.
Oh, okay. That's good. Glad to hear that. I couldn't remember. I guess I can go back and listen again, but I couldn't remember. All right. Well, Kyle had to leave us unexpectedly here, but he's not coming back. I know that.
Yeah, he's working.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you had time to hop on today. And yeah, I think in the near future, I'm going to do a podcast with, I've got a buddy, just bought a bike a couple weeks ago, started riding. He bought a stump jumper, just the alloy base model. And then I know this week my niece is getting a bike, and I'm going to try to get all these kind of more beginner-ish, although my buddy that bought a bike, he's doing really, he's riding really well. I took him to Steelville, and he followed me. We'd already done 5, 6, 7 laps, but he followed me down the black line and just sent all the jumps blind. And while they're very well built and safe, that last tabletop is pretty long, and you hit it really fast. And he and I both sent it to flat, but he was fine. So I'd like to do a pod with them just from the perspective of newer riders. And I don't know if he'll jump on or not. He's not as extroverted as we are, but we'll see.
Oh, good. No, that'd be fun.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Ryan, I'm so glad you could record. So
I'm glad to be riding a bike. I'm gonna stay healthy, taking it easier, but
yeah. No Mac ride rides.
Actually, I was gonna do that tonight, but
nope, don't do it. Don't do it. He can Strider himself around. You thoroughly convinced me not to buy one of those for my kids. So
yeah.
All right, folks. If you ever have topic suggestions or anything, hit us up on Facebook. You can email us at okayest, OKAYEST, MTB@gmail.com. And hopefully I'll do, even if it's just myself and Kyle, or we'll try to get Ryan on. I'm going to try to catch Kyle's instant reaction and record that after our little cross country race this Sunday. So that should be fun. See you, everybody.
Later.